It's Thursday, February 3rd, and we are live here on KZZH. And this is
the Redwoods Community Report. I'm Izzy.
And I'm Nate.
Thank you for joining us.
As part of the Redwoods Listening Post, and with help from local nonprofits Access Humboldt and Internews, this is a new locally focused news magazine radio program for our community radio station KZZH 96.7 FM.
The intent of this show is to showcase local issues through a collection of articles, opinions, and stories created by local community citizens, journalists, and media partners. We hope to create a radio program that will highlight our diverse community of voices and bring back the on-air community dialogue.
That's right. We want to bring back the on-air community dialogue. So this is not my show, the Redwoods Community Report. This is not Izzy's show. This is not KZZH show. This is the community show. Think of this as a placeholder. We're using this right now as a placeholder. We would like community involvement. We would like the community to submit their stories, their opinions, their concerns, and you can do that by emailing us at redwoodsreport@gmail.com. So think of this, we're securing the platform right now for live on-air talk, and we'd like the community to be involved. So please get involved.
On this first live episode of the Redwoods Community Report, we will hear from Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the North Coast, Cooperation Humboldt, and then get some wisdom from the coach.
But first, start off with a little weather, huh? Let's see, for Thursday, February 3rd, tonight, increasing clouds with a low around 42, north wind 5 to 8 miles per hour. And then for tomorrow, Friday, partly sunny with a high of 54, light and variable winds. And Friday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 42, north winds 6 to 11 miles per hour. And then Saturday is going to be mostly sunny with a high near 57. And Sunday, it's going to be sunny with a high near 60. And how about some community calendar? Let's see what's going on this weekend. A couple of things. On Saturday, February 5th, there will be an online discussion on tribal wellness on the North Coast from 10 to 11 a.m. Learn more about local tribal health services with Valerie Reed, a member of the Yurok tribe and Chief Operating Officer of the United Indian Health Services. To get the Zoom link and to find out more, you can email roseweave52@gmail.com. That's ROSEWEAVE 52@gmail.com, or go to humboldt-ca.aauw.net. Also, just a reminder, Bike and Hike Day happens on the first Saturday of every month at Prairie Creek Redwood State Park, 127011 Newton B. Drury in Orick. Enjoy the parkway through the Redwoods through May while it's closed to motor vehicles. Leashed dogs are welcome. And then how about some news? My co-host here, the lovely Isabella Vanderheiden, is a local journalist. What are some headlines that are going around your mind or around the town these days, Izzy?
Well, I think one of the biggest things, I cover Humboldt County government here for the Time Standard, and the Board of Supervisors had a really long meeting on Tuesday. And a big part of that conversation was whether or not the county should suspend or reevaluate Measure S, the county cannabis excise tax. And so that conversation, I believe, went on for about 4 hours on Tuesday, and they decided to take the conversation back up next week. So that's going to be a discussion. I'm assuming it's going to happen regular time. So that would be 9 a.m. on Monday. And so the Board of Supervisors are going to hear from community members. So if you have an opinion on Measure S, want to see it suspended, think it's good just as it is, totally encourage you to go into, to log into that meeting and make your voice heard.
Awesome. That sounds great. All right, so we do have a couple guests today. The first guest, we are still waiting to join us, but it is Big Brothers and Big Sisters of the North Coast. They are having an event coming up, a fundraising event. And as usual, we were having some technological differences. And so we're still waiting on Executive Director Florence Parks to join us. But first, we're going to switch it up a little bit because our second guest has arrived. Don't you love live radio? I love it.
It's exciting. Keeps you on your
Right?
toes, huh?
It sure does. So let's go to, I'm gonna find my notes here. Oh, duh. Live radio, you know. All right, so our next guest is David Cobb with Cooperation Humboldt, promoting an upcoming virtual event. Thanks for joining us today, Dave.
Howdy, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. And this is live radio. We scheduled to have you on later in the show, but we have you on now. And that's the beauty of live radio. And you're here to discuss something that's coming up that Cooperation Humboldt is doing as part of the Cooperation Humboldt's continuing education series. The next discussion is titled Emerging Fascism. Can you briefly tell us a little bit about this event?
Sure. So first, I want to acknowledge that we're having this conversation on community radio, where the community can actually talk to itself and frankly, talk about things that we're not allowed or supposed to talk about by the ruling elite. So I will acknowledge that what we're doing is having a conversation about something profoundly serious, and that is the reality that actual fascism is emerging in the United States, and it is growing. And I think it's important that we understand that fascism is not merely jackbooted thugs and totalitarianism. It's not merely cops murdering people of color. That's all horrific and absolutely reprehensible and poisonous and toxic. But fascism itself is a social, political, and economic ideology that requires a mass base of support. What we're trying to say is, because of an ecological crisis that's not coming, it's here and getting worse, and an economic crisis known as late stage capitalism, that it is creating a political crisis that this country and the governing institutions can't solve. And to be clear, this political system was never designed to solve the problem of heteropatriarchy or white supremacy or poverty or any of the other problems. I'm saying something different. I'm saying this current crisis, the ecological and economic crisis, is creating conditions that the political system can't even do what it's designed to do, which is to maintain order for the existing system. Polarization and disruption is coming and getting worse. And what we at Cooperation Humboldt are doing is inviting people into a conversation to understand the historic conjuncture and to ask, what are we going to do in this community?
Sounds excellent. And Dave, can you tell me when and where will this discussion be taking place?
Yes, it'll be February, Saturday, the second Saturday in February, 10:30, and also the third Thursday. So that would be February 12th at 10:30 a.m. It is free, it's online, so you will have to go to the Cooperation Humboldt website to register in advance, because what we know is we expect, frankly, some of the fascists in this community to try to disrupt us. And so we have plans in place to prevent that from happening.
Okay, so it is strictly online, it's free, and you go to Cooperation Humboldt to get the, to register, I guess.
That's correct. If you go to cooperationhumboldt.com or cooperationhumboldt.org, just go to the education link and follow it down, and you can register. So it is online, it is virtual.
Excellent. And there's one on the 12th, and then isn't there another one also coming up?
That's right. It's the same thing. It'll be on February 24th at 2 p.m. What we offer is one during the day on Saturday, again, Saturday, February 12th, 10:30 a.m. And then the same basic conversation on Thursday, February 24th at 2 p.m. And late breaking news, I can share, Isabella and Access Humboldt, Kali Akuno of Cooperation Jackson will be joining us on the Saturday event, our sister organization of fellow transformationalists from Jackson, Mississippi.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. That sounds great, Dave. We really appreciate you coming on here and sharing that great information with our community.
You're welcome. And I'll take one more opportunity to remind folks that you're listening to genuine community radio. So when the time comes up to make a contribution, I hope you'll actually do that. Remember that the only way we're going to build a genuine mass movement in this country is with non-corporately filtered, non-corporately censored information like you'll hear on this radio station.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Dave.
Bye, y'all.
David Cobb from Cooperation Humboldt. All right. So that is the online seminar, Emerging Fascism, which is taking place Saturday, the 12th. And you can go to cooperationhumboldt.org to find out more. All right. What do we got next?
Should we move over to a PSA, do you think, Nate?
Yeah, let's do that. We're still waiting on Florence Parks to join us.
All right. Yeah, now we have a couple of PSAs. If you have an announcement to make to the community, go ahead and send your public service announcements to Redwoods, that's Redwood with an S, report @gmail.com. Yurok Tribe's Early Head Starts Parent Committee will be having a French Toast fundraiser. This will be a drive-through event, and all parents assisting will wear masks and take extra precautions. All proceeds will go towards students, their education, and success. The event is February 5th, 2022 from 9 a.m. to noon, drive-through at 3400 Erie Street in Eureka. Tickets can be purchased in advance or can be purchased at the time of pickup, that's with cash only. If you have any questions, please ask below and we'll respond as soon as possible. Thanks in advance for supporting our kids.
All right. I think we're going to have Florence Parks from Big Brothers and Big Sisters here on with us in just a moment. And since we skipped a little bit, I need to get my paperwork in order. Okay. I have another PSA for you. Let's see. Temple Bethel in Eureka is sponsoring the 3rd annual Humboldt Jewish Music and Culture Festival, all on Zoom, with 6 events from February 1st to February 10th. All events will have opportunities for audience dialogue with the performers, musicians, and presenters. You can sing, dance, and watch and learn. Any questions, you can call Temple Bethel at 707-444-2846 or email Bethel, that's BETHEL, at RENINET.com. The next scheduled event is for tonight, February 3rd. And so you can check out the annual Humboldt Jewish Music and Culture Festival tonight. A website to go to is templebetheleureka.org. I just want to remind folks that you are listening to KZZH, and this is a new live radio program that we've started to get the community conversation going again. Again, this is your platform, not ours. We hope that you contribute. We will be here every Thursday evening from 6 to 6:30. And if we need to, we'll make it till 7 if we have a lot of contributors, which we hope we do.
All right, next up is Florence ready for us, do you think?
Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. Yes, she is.
It's a little hard doing this when we're not in the same room, huh?
That and yeah, and you know, the online on-air jitters.
I know. I drink a lot of coffee, so I'm a little
All right, yes, next up is, wait, where'd my notes go?
Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the North Coast Executive Director Florence Parks here going to talk to us about the 39th annual Bowl for Kids' Sake, Saved by the Bowl.
Hey there, Florence, how you doing? She's still connecting. Is connecting to audio. All right, we're still waiting on Florence Parks from Big Brothers and Big Sisters. They have a really cool event coming up. I'll let her talk about it, but I'll tell you, I attended, let's see, they weren't able to have it last year. They did it all online, but the year before that, I was able to go to the event, and it is just a hoot. It is so much fun.
You mean good at bowling, Nate? You don't have to answer. It's okay.
Well, at the event, I was doing really well at the beginning, but then, you know, more trips to the bar
Oh,
caused my
sure.
game to diminish a little bit.
I know how that is. I'm not so hot at bowling. I think I bowled with gutter guards until I was probably in middle school. I've never admitted that to anyone, but here I am on live air, letting everyone know. So please don't make fun.
Oh, Florence, are you there?
I am.
All right. Hey, Florence, thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm not sure if we're on air yet.
We are live. We are,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Florence. I guess if you can just kind of introduce yourself and let us tell us all about what is Bowl for Kids' Sake.
All right. Well, I'm Florence Parks. I'm the executive director at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I've been here for 3 years since 2019. I'm kind of new to the area, but Bowl for Kids' Sake certainly isn't. I think if you ask a neighbor or a friend, somebody that you know knows about Bowl for Kids' Sake. And we're in our 39th year, Bowl for Kids' Sake this year, and we are celebrating a special bowl because it's saved by the bowl. You know, it's all about making sure that we realize that it's time for us to get back together again. It's time for us to remember the reasons why we connect. And one of the big things that is so phenomenal about this community is our investment in our youth and each other. And so I'm excited about the opportunity to bring back Bowl for Kids' Sake and bring it back in a safe way.
And you said saved by the bowl. What does that mean?
Well, it really means 90 things for us. Every year we do a different theme, and just to make it fun. And of course, one of the big features of Bowl for Kids' Sake is that we have different teams that are going out into the community, and they are competing against each other. And they are competing to raise the most resources so that we can mentor more youth in our community, which is really the ultimate goal. These teams then get to dress up. So who doesn't want to kind of look back and say, hey, it's the 90s. Remember when we used to do X, Y, Z? I think for my group, I have a team this year, and we are reminiscing on our hairspray.
Oh boy, it's going to be some funky hair then that day?
I think so. So. We might not be aerosol anymore, you know, but I think there was a time where before we realized the effects of aerosol that we used a lot of hairspray. So any theme, the team can come up with any creative way to talk about and raise their funds and talk about the 90s. So whatever works for you. Bowl for Kids' Sake, the Saved by the Bowl is kind of a play on Saved by the Bell, which was a show that many of us reminisce about. So kind of fun. It's a fun thing to do, you know?
It is. Like I was telling the listeners before you came on, I attended the last one you had, not last year, but the year before, and it is just so much fun. It is a crazy day, and it's all for a good sake. So if you could tell us, how are the funds that you are raising used?
Of course. Nate, first of all, thank you for coming down to Bowl for Kids' Sake and always being a great supporter, you guys. You know, I think it's so important for us to just spend that kind of time for each other, with each other, but also for our kids. And one of the things we know, we've done some research in the mentoring field, and there's this thing called the mentoring gap. So that means that 1 out of every 3 children are growing up without a positive adult in their life. We are getting very familiar in our county about ACE scores and how we're affected in our community by ACE scores. And ACE is really an acronym for having experienced childhood, having alternate childhood experiences. I'm sorry, I'm really messing up that acronym, but the ACE scores are really about adverse childhood experiences and what hardships that our youth that are at promise, I like to say instead of at risk, have experienced over their time and their years. So we can take those experiences and we can make changes. What Dr. Nadine Burke says is that ACE scores are superpowers, but it doesn't happen on accident. So a lot of times what our kids need most is someone that's investing in their lives. So if we've had early childhood trauma, if you have someone that comes alongside of you and spends time with you, asks you questions at the right time, and that you feel visible and that you feel heard and you feel like you have you're belonging in our community. Those are the things that we know will affect a child in a positive way. And that's such positive goals for our kids, that we're able to have kids thrive because of something as much as important as a mentor.
Absolutely. And when and where will this event be taking place, and how can the community get involved?
Well, this year we're at Harbor Lane, and March 4th and 5th. So we hope that you can come down that day. You do not have to fundraise ahead of time. We will be practicing safe COVID practices, and we will but you can come down and root your team on. We always have an open event. It does not cost to just come and root on your favorite teams, but you can also fundraise. So
is it too late to sign up a team?
Oh no, never.
Okay, so how can we sign up a team?
Oh, well, you want to go to our website and I'm sure we'll share that at a good time. And then, or even call our office. Jennifer Maxim is phenomenal. This is her event. She's great. She's ready to sign up teams. We also have an online portal that you can sign up your own team and do virtual fundraising, so you can get people out of our area to invest in our kids here as well.
Oh, that's great. All right. That is the Bowl for Kids' Sake, hosted by Big Brothers Big Sisters of the North Coast. You can find out more and sign up a team or fundraise or just show up. You can find out more by going to their website, ncbbbs.org, or giving them a call at 707-445-4871. Florence Parks, the executive director of Big Brothers Big Sisters of the North Coast, we really, really appreciate you being on with us and letting our community know about this so much fun event.
Thank you so much, Florence.
Thanks for having us. Thank you so much for what you guys do and for bringing awareness to our community and to the needs of our youth.
Our pleasure.
I'll see you there, Florence. Thank you.
Take care.
All right, see you there, Nate.
All right. Like I said, it's a great event. And obviously, as Florence let us know, it's for a really, really good cause. All right. Let's see. Where was I? This is Live Radio. We are KZZH. This is the new locally focused news magazine radio program, and we want your contributions. We want your stories. We want to hear from you. We will be having call-ins one of these days. We're still working on getting that situated, but we will definitely have call-ins and have the community join the conversation. But what we're going to do now is we're going to hear a little bit of wisdom in a segment we like to call Coach's Cuts. Dr. Aaron Donaldson is a lecturer and the director of forensics, that's intercollegiate speech and debate, in the Department of Communication at Cal Poly Humboldt.
New name, still getting used to it.
Right.
He has coached 5 National Debate Championship finalists and several nationally ranked speakers, as well as students inside juvenile detention centers and 1 maximum security prison. He is also the co-host of the Alien Movie Project and the Real War Project, that's REEL War Project.
He will now bring us some communication wisdom.
So most of us have heard of an ad hominem attack, but applying this knowledge is something else entirely. If you feel hurt by something someone said, does that make it an attack? Unfortunately, and hopefully obviously, the answer is no. There's a fundamental difference between arguments that make us uncomfortable, upset, or angry, and arguments that constitute an attack. So how do we know which it is? Well, let's look at the term ad hominem to see if we can figure it out. Ad hominem, roughly translated, is to the body. In other words, an ad hominem attack is an attack on the person making the argument, not the argument itself. If I call you a loser or arrogant, these statements do not implicate any particular message. They are about the person making one. So what happens when someone calls us a racist or a sexist or a transphobe? These terms predictably excite anger and feelings of attack. Folks labeled with these terms historically have insisted that we are misunderstood, we have good intentions, we're being misrepresented, that the word itself is too strong. In other words, it feels like an ad hominem attack. We've even made up a word for this presumed affront. We call it reverse racism or reverse sexism. But these aren't attacks, and there's no such thing as reverse oppression. When someone calls someone else a racist, they're not attacking that person's body or identity. They are linking behavior to known and widespread systems of violence. While being labeled a racist most definitely feels bad and can have pretty negative consequences in our personal and professional lives, the linkage between behavior and that violence is the target, and that is fundamentally different from targeting the body. Unlike someone who is called a loser, being a racist or a homophobe is precisely about our messages and their consequences. We can prove how behavior implicates systems of violence if we care to learn. Proving someone is a loser or arrogant is, frankly, impossible, at least if we require robust research to support our claims. Regardless of if it is true, maybe I am a loser, maybe I am arrogant. This typically does not change the validity of my argument in and of itself. It's not okay to respond to folks trying to link our behavior to racism as if they are calling us names. It is in fact a known defensive posture called fragility, and it's a huge part of the problem in our current political discourse. In a debate where one side is arguing racism and the other side is arguing woke mob or cancel culture, ad hominem attacks are definitely flying, but only in one direction. This has been Coach's Cuts for February 3rd, 2022. If you have questions about debate or argumentation that you'd like to hear me talk about, you can send an email to aaron.donaldson@humboldt.edu. That's AARON.DONALDSON@humboldt.edu.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach, for that wisdom. I did have some follow-up questions for you, but we are running out of time. We're going to have to save that for later.
Great.
But thank you, sir. We will hear from
Really
you
appreciate you.
in a couple of weeks.
Thank you,
I'll be back.
Aaron.
Thank you.
All right, a special thanks to our supporters, Access Humboldt and Internews.
And a big thanks to our partners and contributors, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the North Coast, Cooperation Humboldt, and the coach, Aaron Donaldson.
And again, we are seeking help from our community. We offer this radio platform to you to help restart the on-air community dialogue.
To share your voice, your concerns, your stories with our community, please send your story submissions to us by emailing redwoodsreport@gmail.com. That's Redwoods with an S, redwoodsreport@gmail.com.
This has been
The Redwoods Community Report.
a new locally focused news magazine radio program that showcases local issues through a collection of articles, events, and opinions created by local community citizens, journalists, and media partners.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Izzy. Thank you for listening.
All right, see you guys next week. Thank you.
All right, bye, everyone.